Hey there, I'm Willem from R&A Cycles West Coast, and today we're going to talk about measuring chain wear. So we've lubricated the chain, but that can only go so far. What else can we do to maintain our drivetrain? Well, eventually the chain's going to wear out, and that's where using a chain checker comes in. What this tool does is it bends the chain sideways and measures the amount of stretch on a chain. As you shift hundreds, thousands of times up and down the sprockets, in funny gear combinations, high torque situations where you're climbing uphill, slowly the chain is going to stretch and wear out. What we need to do is measure that stretch. By doing that, we're going to avoid wearing out the other sprockets on our drivetrain. In general, you can get about 2 or 3 chains out of a cassette cluster on a bike, and every 2 cassette clusters, I like to replace the chain rings. There are several versions of chain checkers, but the overall goal is the same: to measure the distance between the rollers of the chain. This is what exhibits the actual stretch, rather than the connecting links. As we can see on this used chain here, there's a lot of side-to-side bend. The rollers are definitely worn out on this chain. Furthermore, if we take a brand new section of chain and bend it sideways, we can see how much less chain stretch there is. Look at the difference between these two. They cannot contour to each other. One is much more stretched than the other. Before we start using our chain checker, we want to make sure it's zeroed out. Next, we're going to take the pins and insert them between the rollers of the chain. Then we push on this black tab, which will exhibit sideways force on the chain, measuring the bend and stretch. We can see this is reading somewhere between 25 and 50%, which is perfectly normal for a newer bike with a newer chain. But let's say we're measuring 75% stretch. That's when you're going to want to proactively change your chain out before causing wear on the sprockets or the chain rings of the bike. And at 1.0 or 100%, your chain is toast. Make sure you replace it immediately. Sometimes the decision to replace a chain is much more clear-cut. Believe it or not, these 2 chains sitting next to each other are the same exact model. But you can see this chain is highly weathered, it looks rusted, and it has a lot of side-to-side play in it. We can even see some cracks in the links. Properly maintaining your chain is imperative. Imagine if you were sprinting on this bike and one of these links cracked. You'd fly over the handlebars and certainly become injured. In contrast, if we look at the brand new version of this chain, we can see that it's nice and shiny. No oxidization, the model numbers are clearly visible on the chain link, and it has much less side-to-side flex. So today we talked about different warning signs for telling when your chain's worn out and how to exactly measure if your chain's worn out using this chain checking tool. This tool and other accessories used in videos are available on racycles.com. And thanks for watching.